You be an egomaniac or should you be a servant, selfless servant? Should you be an egomaniac or a selfless servant? We'll take a look at that today on Fellowship of the Father. Hi, this is Lawrence, and welcome to Fellowship of the Father. And today's topic is your ID. How do you identify? So, some of the some of the goings on of this world right now are I identify as a man. I identify as a woman. I identify as an African American. And you get to decide what your identity is. In some ways, that's really warped, but in other ways, it's actually pretty accurate. So let me explain that to you. I'll talk to some people, and they're dealing with addiction, and I have to ask them what their thoughts are, and often they'll tell themselves something to the effect of, I am an alcoholic. So by saying that, it fires off something in your psyche. It determines for you what you actually are. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So think about this. If you're an alcoholic, if you know you're an alcoholic, there's no way to convince someone that they aren't an alcoholic. What does an alcoholic do in its nature? So an alcoholic, by definition, drinks all the time or craves drink all the time. So you'll act in accordance to your identity. If a man determines that he is a woman in his identity, he identifies as a woman, he's going to begin to act in accordance to that. So he might begin to cross-dress, or he might begin to act effeminate, or he'll take on the psyche of his new identity that he assigned himself. So Christian men nowadays, they might be struggling with their identity. Now that we have this new situation where, from a traditional standpoint, men are the breadwinners, they bring security, they bring safety, they bring stability, and now they're asked to step aside while the modern woman, the New Deal, comes in, and they get to build their own stability, their own security, their own sense of self away from their husbands or their partners. So how does that all work out for the modern man who's actually being held to a traditional standard? What I determined for myself this year, through years of feeling it out and trying to find my lane, I think I determined for myself what I am as a creator. I'm a producer. I'm someone that takes little to very little amount of resources and creates something out of those resources. So right now what I'm doing is I'm doing musical production and having a blast doing it, to be honest. I work with a fellow out in my area, and we take some of his content, his music, and I amplify it as the producer. I make sure that it's palatable to the commercial markets. So that's what I found in myself that I'm good at doing. I also write my own music, so I create basically something out of thin air. But it's based off of someone else that I've imitated, and then plus whatever it is that I bring to the table along with that. So it's been a process. So if you watch my 10 videos prior, you'll see that I'm walking around and it's windy outside, and it wasn't really terribly windy as far as I knew, but man, it was beating on the microphone. So this morning I have my little microphone cover over the front part of my camera to try to kill it. So it's a process. It takes time. and you find your way, and you help identify and establish your ID. So whether you're a slave or whether you're an egomaniac, you could decide how you slide up and down the spectrum. So if you feel like you don't have enough ego, you can go a little bit more towards ego. You could take care of yourself. You could dial it into a healthy level. You can fend for yourself. You can say no when someone wants you to help them move in or do some other task that everyone else has said no to you to. You could do those things if you just assess it and you reestablish your ID. You can be genuine in doing it too. You don't have to create a false self. You just have to figure out what's healthy. It's not unhealthy to go to the gym because you're actually taking care of yourself. It's unhealthy to take steroids. It's unhealthy to work yourself out to exhaustion and get sick. So it's a day-to-day process. So there we go. That's it, guys. What's your ID? What do you identify as? I guarantee once you assess your identity, you'll start living according to it. If all you are is a Christian and there's no other dimension to your life, then that's it. That's what you'll be. You'll be at church all the time. You'll be very nice, and you'll be used to help move furniture, and you'll be there to be that shoulder that someone cries on, and then they'll go find someone that they actually love, and they'll take off with that person, and you're stuck with your ID. So you're far more than a label, but you do act in accordance to your ID. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to be notified anytime I come out with a new video. Hit the bell. Comment below. What do you think? What do you think? What is your ID? Go ahead and comment below. What is your ID? Anyway, this is Lawrence with Fellowship of the Father. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, and you have a great day.